Are you new to RuneScape membership? Are you just really confused with a skill or a quest? Or are you just too lazy to look something up and figure it out for yourself? Well, either way, you're in luck because RSucation's got you covered. What is up, guys? I am Joseph from JosephsPlace, and welcome to this episode of RSucation, where I teach you a little bit of something about RuneScape. This episode, we're going to focus in on the skill Hunter, and more specifically, the early game Hunter. So from levels 1 to 63. I'm going to be showing you where to go for certain methods, what to bring, and how to train. Just a disclaimer, this may not be the fastest method. My method, I like to say, is the easiest and simplest. It uses a lot of the best techniques, however, some places we don't go, such as swamp lizards, as you'll see further on, and I'll give my reasoning for that. So let's get started with the tutorial, or the guide rather. So the supplies you'll need from level 1 to 63 are as follows. 2 bird snares, 1 torch. These can all be bought from Alex Hunter Emporium in Yanil. That's where I buy most of my hunter supplies, obviously, just a little plug-in for him. Hopefully he gets some business from this. But he has basically everything you'll need for hunter, for the most part. While you're there, I'd pick up some box traps, a butterfly net, some jars, things like that if you wish to continue on with hunter. But for 1 to 63, all you'll need is 2 bird snares, a torch. Other than that, what you'll need is a tinderbox, a knife, an axe, a chisel, 4 small nets, 4 ropes, about 12 water skins full, about 3 or 4 shanty passes, and desert clothing. And quests I would recommend would be Fairy Tale Part 1 and the beginning of Part 2, just to get access to the fairy rings, as it is very, very useful in traveling. So without any further ado, let's get started right into the guide. So from levels 1 to 9, you're actually not going to be doing any hunter. The best way to get from level 1 to 9 is to go to the VARROCK Museum, go down to the 2nd floor, talk to Orlando Smith, and finish his quiz. It takes about 20 minutes and it gets you 1,000 hunter experience. It makes it very easy to get through those first few levels, as the first 9 levels, in my opinion, are the most rough. So very easy way to get the first 9 levels there, easy 1,000 experience. Next up, we have levels 9 to 19, which we do Copper Longtails. These give 61 experience each, and you need 48 of these to get to level 19 from level 9, and the time is about 1 hour. It really depends on your luck with the birds, but for the most part, you'll be spending about an hour here. The type of environment, if you wish to wear the correct clothing, is woodland. The area is the Piscatoris Hunter area, and what you'll need is just 1 bird snare. So how you're going to get to the Piscatoris Hunter area is the fairy ring code AKQ, and then just walk east. I have the spots on the map for where the spawns are. If you don't have fairy rings, the best way to get there would either be walking north from the Tree Gnome Stronghold or just north from Ardugni. So what you're going to do once you get there is just find one of the 3 or 4 spawn points of just one of the birds, 1 or 2, and place your trap in the middle of those spawn points. I suggest finding a place where there's 2 spawn points. Just put your trap in the middle, and then just if the bird dismantles, just replace it right back where it was. And if it gets caught in it, just collect your loot and just continue on. These will drop a few feathers as well as a pile of bones and some raw bird meat. You can cook the bird meat if you'd like. Just bring a hatchet and a tinderbox to make a fire, and then of course bury the bones. So again, you're not going to be spending very long here. Those do go fairly quickly. Next up, we have Tropical Wagtails from level 19 to level 37. Now this is where it might get a little different from some guides you'll see. Personally, I like staying with these guys to level 37 just for the fact that I don't like swamp lizards. So I'll get into that in just a moment. Let me just give the information for this. So the experience you're going to be getting for each of these wagtails is 95.2, and you'll need about 247 to get to level 37. So this is going to take you about 2.5 hours. The type of environment that you'll be in is the jungle environment, so if you want to get the jungle close for it, you can. The area is the Feldip Hills. The items you'll need are 2 bird snares. Now, the reason you'll need 2 is because every 20 levels, you can put a new trap down, or an extra trap. So at level 1, you can only place 1. At level 20, you can place 2 bird snares, 2 box traps. You can set 2 net traps. And then at 40, you get another one, increased to 3. 60, increased to 4. And then 80, increased to the maximum of 5. So what you're going to do to get here is, if you have access to fairy rings, go to the fairy ring code AKS, or alternatively, you can walk south from Yanil or Castle Wars if you want to use a Ring of Dueling. Both are about equal distance. What you're going to want to do once you get there is just find one of the spawn points. Again, there are a few spawn points, but this time you're going to want to find 2 to 3 spawns for these birds. What you see in the background here, there are about 3 in this area, so I found this to be the best spot. So what you're going to want to do is just set up, once you reach level 20, just set up your 2 traps a little bit distance from each other, just in case one bird flies and dismantles one, it'll aggro on the other one. So again, I hate putting them right next to each other. I like leaving a few blocks in the middle. But again, you can experiment with this with your own. It really doesn't make a huge difference. Now, the reason I stay here until 37 instead of going to swamp lizards at level 29 is because the time it takes you to get to swamp lizards, and especially if you're going to bank them for money, you're losing that XP. The XP may be a little bit better per hour. However, the 15 minutes or 20 minutes it takes you to set up and get ready to go there, you're going to basically get the same amount of XP from the Wagtails. Plus, you're not going to have to move. You get a little bit better prayer experience and cooking experience, as well as those feathers. So overall, it's just a lot simpler in my opinion, and just as easy to do Wagtails, and that's why I prefer it over the swamp lizards. So once you reach level 37, we're going to be going back to the Piscatorus Hunter area, and we're going to be hunting prickly Kebbits. These give 204 experience each, and you need about 113 of these to get to level 43. This will take you about 1.5 hours, maybe a little more, but that's about the time it took me. What you're going to need for this area is, if you want the clothing, again, it's the woodland area, the same as the first, same as the Copper Longtails. The items you'll need is 1 hatchet, a torch, a tinderbox, and a knife. It's optional. You can bring a chisel if you have 32 fletching, and you can fletch the spikes into bolts, which you can use with a hunter crossbow, which shoots very quickly. I think it's like a 6 speed, and it's a decent low level hunter, or a decent low level ranged weapon if you choose to go that route. The only thing is the hunter bolts, or the Kebbit bolts, are the only bolts you can use with that crossbow, so just keep that in mind. So again, if you've forgotten how to get here, just use the fairy ring code AKQ, just walk a little bit east, and the deadfall traps are right there. Alternatively, you can walk north from the Tree Gnome Stronghold or Ardugni. So what you do once you get here is you go set up a deadfall trap. You must have 1 set of logs in your inventory as well as a knife. Now, you can only set up 1 deadfall trap at a time no matter your level, so pick one that you are comfortable with. The one I choose is probably the farthest one from the fairy ring. However, you can cut down an oak tree and keep an eye on your trap at the same time. So I prefer this one just because I can click on the oak tree and not have to worry about clicking on a new tree each time, since you can get multiple logs from the from the oak tree. So what you're going to want to do is set one up. While you're waiting for it to be either dismantled or catch a Kebbit, just go and chop down some wood to get some wood in your inventory. And then once the trap falls down, just check it to see if you got some experience. If you do, you'll get 1 Kebbit spike as well as some bones. What I did, I don't have 32 fletching, so I just decided to bank the Kebbit spikes on this account. But you can, of course, just use the chisel and they stack. The bolts stack, of course. So level 39, what you're going to want to do is use the torch to smoke out your traps. So you just need to light your torch with the tinderbox, and then just use the lit torch on the deadfall trap. You can actually do this in the same game tick as the actual setting up of the trap, so you're not even losing any time, and it does help a little bit. So again, you're going to be spending about 1.5 to 2 hours here. At level 43, you're going to enter the falconry portion of the guide. The area that you will be using for this is just a little bit east of where you are for the deadfall traps. So again, just the AKQ fairy ring code, and just go to the east side, and you'll see a fenced-in area. Just go to the top of the fenced-in area, go down, and that's where that's the entrance to that fence. So again, the type of environment is woodland. You get 104 experience for each of these spotted Kebbits. So you'll need about 239 to get to the level 47. So this will take you about less than an hour. It's really, really quick experience. What you'll need for this is just 500 GP and nothing in your weapon shield slot or your glove slot. So what you need to do for this is enter the fenced-in area, talk to Matthias, and then ask to borrow his falcon for 500 coins. So once you do that, you'll have a falcon on your hand. So just click on the spotted Kebbits. Your falcon will go after it, and if it catches it, there'll be a blinking arrow above where it is. Click on it, receive your experience, your fur, and your bones. So you can bury the bones, but if you did want to keep the fur, the spotted fur can be used to make a spotted cape, which reduces your weight by 2.5 kg. You need a level 40 hunter to wear that. If you get level 57 and you hunt dark Kebbits, those can be used to make gloves of silence, which increase success while thieving. They need a level 54 hunter to wear. And if you get level 69, you can hunt dash Kebbits, which give you the spottier cape, which reduces your weight by 4.5 kg, and the level requirement for this cape is 66. Now you'll be catching these very fast. It's only 104 experience per, but you'll be catching these very, very quickly, and it will take you less than an hour to get level 47. I personally like to stay here a little longer just because it is decent XP and I enjoy the falconry area. So I just stay there probably at level 51, but again, that's personal preference. You can leave there at 47 if you want to get the best experience per hour. So from there, at level 47, we'll be moving on to orange salamanders. So from level 47 to 59, we'll be focusing on orange salamanders. You get 224 experience per salamander, so it's going to take you about 224 salamanders, I believe, to level up to level 59, which takes about 3 to 4 hours. The type of environment is the desert environment. It's in the Oozer Hunter area. Now, you can wear the desert clothing, which I believe is the Grack, although I prefer desert robes just because it allows you to stay there a little bit longer. So what you'll need for this area is 3 ropes, 3 small nets, and about 12 water skins. Again, that's why I take the desert robes, just so I can keep my water skins active a little bit longer. So how to get here is just from the shanty past, just walk directly east till you reach a river, follow the river south until you get to the bridge, and directly east of the bridge is the hunter area. You can use the carpet to go to the Oozer ruins, however, I think it's just faster just to run there, and it's obviously cheaper. But you can pick whichever you like. I do think you need a quest to complete to get to that carpet area, but I'm not entirely positive. So what you're going to want to do once you get here is just find a spot with 3 young trees, just set them up with your traps, and then just let them go. You can use Marintil Tar to bait the traps, but it's not really necessary as it only increases your XP per hour by a little bit, and that can get a little bit pricey. So just make sure to pay attention because the salamanders will disarm your traps quite often, so just stay on top of that, and you should be getting about 41 to 48,000 experience per hour, which is really good experience, up until level 59. So once you reach level 59, you're going to be moving to Red Salamanders. These give you 272 experience each salamander. So to get to level 63, you're going to need about 444 Red Salamanders, or if you want to go all the way to level 73, 2,740. These are the best experience up until black chins, although red chins do get you more money, or it gets you the chins if you need the chins. So personally, I prefer just to go to 63. But again, that is up to you if you want the best experience or if you do want the Chinchampas out of the deal. So the type of area this is a lava environment. So I believe any type of hunter garb will do all the same. So I don't think there's any one that does a little bit better. The area that this is in, it's north of the observatory and west of the gnome battlefield where that altar is, surrounded by lava and Zamrock monks. So the ways you can get here is you can either use a Ring of Dueling to go to Castle Wars, then just go north. Or you can teleport to Arkdugni, go a little bit south and then west, or go to the Tree Gnome Maze using the Spirit Trees, and then just go a little bit west of that. What you'll need for this area is 4 ropes and 4 small nets. The reason you're going to be using 4 is because at level 60, you're able to do set an additional net trap. So what you're going to want to do when you get here is pick one of the hunter areas. There's one on the south side and one on the northeast side of the altar. And the one on the northeast side only has 3 young trees, I believe, to set up, while the one on the southwest side has 4. So obviously the one on the southwest side may be a little bit better experience. However, some say that the 4th one really doesn't increase your experience and just is a little bit more of a hassle. So you can experiment with that yourself. I prefer to use that 4th one just because it keeps me active, keeps me interested, and gives me something to do. So basically what you're going to want to do is the same thing that you did previously, is just set your traps, wait for the salamanders to go in, and then just collect your loot, which will be a red salamander and experience. Of course, you're going to be releasing these salamanders as there is no point in keeping them. It just wastes time, and they don't really sell that often. So you're just going to release them, so you're not going to be making any money from this. You can bait your traps, I believe, with Terramin Tar, but again, I personally prefer not to, as it can get pricey, and it's just not generally worth it. So again, once you reach level 60, you can place that additional trap for a little bit better experience per hour if you focus on it. But if you did want to stop at 63, then the next place you would go is the Chinchampas. If not, then you can stay here till 73 and then go to Black Chinchampas out in the wilderness. You're going to be here for about 2 to 3 hours if you're going to 63 and about 12 hours if you're going to 73. So again, it is the best experience up to Black Chinchampas. So that is it for this guide. That takes you from level 1 up until level 63. You're not going to be really spending that much time. This is rather fast once you get past the earlier levels, and in my opinion, one of the more fun skills. So I hope you guys enjoyed this guide, and I hope it's helped you. If there's anything you need help with, just leave it in the description. You got a quest you need help on, a skill, I will work to get to that so I can give you guys that content. I am working on a farming path So like what paths to take for farming for the trees, fruit trees, normal trees, as well as just the normal patches. So hopefully I'll get that out within the week, but we'll see how that goes. Other than that, if you have any suggestions for anything you want to see, leave it down in the description. Give a comment on, actually you can tweet it to me. You can send me a personal message, anything like that, and it will get to me and I will definitely respond to it. But again, that's all I got for this guide. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helps you, and I will see you next time.